paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Welcome back, everybody, to Brainstorm Brewery. I'm Corbin Hostler. This is a very special episode because I am joined, as always, by my co-hosts, Jason Alt, who you can hear pouring a beer there, and DJ Douglas Johnson, who is still suffering through the knee pain. I heard we had some bad news on that front, DJ.
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, you got some authentic DJ net crack at the beginning of the episode there. I don't know if JJ normally cuts that out, but that's some.
How does that relate to your leg? Did you land on
It doesn't. It was going to be what I was going to say regardless. I'm just kind of choosing to ignore. I don't really want to focus on my injury, but yeah.
Cool. You made it real fucking awkward. Nice work.
We appreciate DJ powering through tonight. We'll just leave it at that because it's
You got to be on
seems
painkillers, right? What
uncomfortable.
Not really.
do you mean not really? They didn't give you any painkillers?
I have ibuprofen.
If it was me, give it all to me.
There's a thing that you say to your doctor that gets them to give you better painkillers.
Is it I'm in pain?
No, it's "Ah!" Tell them you have a kidney stone.
Tell
I
the
will
doctor.
tell
He's like, oh, we'll
tell
just
the
do
doctor you have a kidney stone.
we'll do a
DJ.
CT to see where the stone is. He'd be like, are you insane? I don't have insurance.
I will tell my orthopedic doctor to get right on that kidney stone medication.
Well,
Yeah.
the orthopedic doctor won't be able to tell that you don't really have a kidney stone because what the fuck does he know about kidney stones? It's the perfect crime. It's a crime, by the way, but you should do it because then they give you drugs.
Unless, of course, the intern forgets to schedule or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, well, we're all, thoughts and prayers for DJ's knee. And then it gets a little better. Look, we've got some interesting topics tonight. We are going to talk about when things go wrong on TCGPlayer or in other places where you get cards and how to handle that. But before we get to that, I want to
Man, we should really tease every segment.
Every segment. Okay, well, after
We should be like, we'll talk about when things go wrong, and then we have a special message from somebody out there in the metaverse. But first,
You're right.
it's
Let me
the
give that a
segment
watch
where
out.
prices congregate and we recreate. It's Breaking Bulk, this segment. Let's pretend we're a
wasn't.
real podcast.
It wasn't. It wasn't even it. You win.
Let's have a Brainstorm Brewery table of content. Like, you know how the kids do the announcements every morning? Corbin's going to do the announcements every week. How about that?
Yeah, here you go, Jason.
I bet Corbin looked up to that.
JJ,
person.
start playing the music from Serial. Right? And then you come in. Hey, everybody. What happens when one person sends out a card and he thinks it's near mint and someone else thinks it's not? What to do? On this 11-part documentary series,
In this essay.
we'll be discussing what happens when prices go wrong.
Well, that's what's to come. It doesn't get more.
Are we going to be a true crime
teaser than
BS?
that.
Are we going to be a true crime Magic Finance podcast?
Why
It's
aren't we
gotta
a true crime podcast?
We would kill as a true crime podcast.
Well, we look like we killed, and that's how we know about true crime. It's like if you put all the limbs in a vacuum sealed bag, you would get away with it forever, and everybody would be like, I don't think you'd get away with it forever, but like you get away with it for at least 12 years and counting.
And
Like,
counting.
what?
And
have a
counting,
friend
yeah.
who works on identifying like severed heads and like Jane Doe's like cold cases. That's like her.
Yeah, the morgue keeper. What are they called?
They're called the Morgue Keeper.
The Morgographer. No, it was the Morgographer.
Morgographer. That's-
Hell's Caretaker, I think.
The Morgographer, man. Get it right.
Someone who studies morgues.
If you think about it, Jason.
No, isn't ography drawing pictures of
I
morgues?
was
So the
gonna say, I think
morgographer
that's
draws
like-
pictures of morgues?
Isn't that
A morgologist would study morgues. A
I mean,
morgographer...
it sounds like DJ's friend is drawing mental pictures because having to connect stuff that isn't there, right?
What? Just like drawing? What?
You
Just
said
like with
you said severed heads. All I know is you got to try to like, what's their job? So you got to try to. It just seems like the imagination is
Probably
required.
just like do some DNA analysis.
I was gonna say no. You definitely don't like age up the remains and like trace back DNA and like match up relatives and go find social media accounts and like do digging for that. No. You definitely just use your inner
Make a
mind,
mental
your
picture.
mind's eye to transmit.
God, you watched no fewer than 6 shows on CBS about somebody who holds a severed head and then goes and finds the murderer. Tuesdays on CBS, Bonnie Bedelia is the morgologist.
Did y'all watch the Super Bowl?
I did not. I watched
No.
BattleBots because I'm
Do
a
we have
real
an
nerd.
Do we have an update on the Mr. Peanut baby guy? Is he in college now?
From 2 years ago?
Was that
do-
2 years ago? I don't know,
Do
man.
peanuts age way faster?
Whatever,
Does a
man.
peanut live like
That was
12
the commercial
I
of
don't know the
the.
lifespan of a peanut.
I wasn't sure if they ran that back every year. Like it
No.
just an update on his.
No.
Okay.
Honestly, the commercials I did not think were particularly very good.
No,
There were a
it's
lot of-
just people you used to
weird
respect
ones.
telling you to buy crypto. That's it. That's the Super
a
Bowl
little bit,
commercials now.
a little bit. Yep, a little bit of that for sure. Anyway, but I guess since Jason gave us that perfect segue earlier, we will skip what I had planned and we will instead go straight to Breaking Bad.
What I had planned, Corbin copies and pastes a blank show notes template, never fills it in, and then just changes the number of the episode at the top. And he's like, all right, I got my roadmap.
I did. I changed it from 450-ish to 480-ish. Episode 500's coming up, Jason. You can't get away
Hey, is
from
that
it.
the roadmap you used last week where Breaking Bulk was 9 seconds before pick of the week?
It's a roadmap, right? You'd never really know. It's about the journey.
That's
No.
that's how Oklahoma's roads work. You just never know where you're gonna.
About the journey. Everyone knows that.
Anything with CR before it means it's not paved. Good
You
luck.
guys have 2 road signs left, and the only ones that people didn't steal were the 69 and the 421. Those are the ones that didn't get stolen. Most commonly stolen road marker in the United States is 69. That's the one that you pearl clutchers left alone.
Breaking bulk time. Breaking bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking bulk. The end.
Is all of that cuttable or is none of that cuttable?
No,
A lot of it's cut. Figure it out.
Figure it out.
None
So,
of it.
for those
If
who are
you
just
would-
joining us,
If you
None
change the
of
price
it.
of the hot dog.
Breaking Bulk is a segment where we pick out cards that you may find in your bulk that you might not know are valuable, you might not know are worth buy listing. We give specific attributes about those cards, then we torture each other by trying to guess the card. So
Yep, we tell people how that game works roughly once every 150 episodes. So if
Yes.
you missed
We
it,
were due.
catch us in 3 more years. We'll be talking about how well the value of the Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter versus Marvel versus Capcom 2
That sounds awesome. Secret lair.
Secret Layers are
Yeah.
selling.
That sounds great.
They really took you for a ride on that one.
I have a multicolor Eventide uncommon.
Cool,
That
DJ.
has-
There's not many of those.
I was
There's-
gonna let me finish.
It's a token.
That was the F word I thought you were going for. Yeah, finish.
Let me.
It has exactly 1 reprint, and it was reprinted very recently. And this is similar to like my Kolrath Knight pick from last week, where this is a card that used to be more expensive than it is now.
Kitchen Finks.
Unmade.
It's not Kitchen Finks. Kitchen Finks is Shadowmoor.
Unmade.
This is Eventide.
Is it up sun or down sun?
You almost got me with that because I was like, "That's not a D's nuts joke." I'll continue my question, and then I held it.
Is it the up, son? What's up, son? Not much. What's up with you? I got him.
Is it unmake, DJ?
It is not unmake. I think that's common because that's popular.
It is. It was
You're right about that.
reprinted
You're right about that. Yeah,
to
it's
be
an uncommon.
common.
Okay.
It wasn't originally common.
Okay. Well, this has exactly one relatively recent reprint. Other than that, it's just a. It is. If I give the color combination, that probably gives it away.
Eventide.
It is a creature.
It's a creature. Oh, that helps a lot. And it's not Kitchen Finks or Murderous Redcap?
Correct. Both of those are Shadowmoor.
Oh! Is it,
I would expect Jason to get this before.
Is it the
Corbin.
dwarf?
It's not a dwarf.
It's not
I
the
know
dwarf.
that's set decently, but I can't. Is it an Oofy?
It is.
Here we go.
Oh, it's an oaf? I was gonna say Spite-Mare or Quillspike. It's not Spite-Mare or Quillspike.
No.
Holy.
It's the Oof, the original.
Which airy oof?
No.
Which oof? Big oof.
It's in Jason's favorite color combination.
Oh, the Gilderbairn.
Yep. Gilderbairn used to be a very consistent $3 card that you would find in bulk. It was one of the OG casual cards.
Correct.
In 2009 when people had trade binders. This is a card that you would pull out of bulk and then trade it to casuals for $3 a piece for their fetch lands at $10 a piece. This is a hallmark of a forgotten era. I think it has been number 1 power crept, and number 2 reprinted sort of out of style. There's so many more ways to just put a ton of counters on stuff that you don't need to like work to tap this.
Shadowmoor block used to pay my mortgage.
Yeah,
man.
Back when the lieges were 15.
Yeah.
This is a card that I think has. I mean, you don't find Shadowmoor or Eventide block bulk often, but you do occasionally find Mystery Booster bulk, and this card can be found in Mystery Booster bulk, or Mystery Booster like foil bins or bulk foil bins, that kind of thing. And it's still $1, so it's not worthless, but it's just one that people may not be aware of or have forgotten about.
Yeah,
that's why I think that unbanning those blocks is worth doing at this point, because there's just so many cards that have just changed styles over the past decade.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Gilderbrand was one of those original casual cards for sure. It's also kind of like an OG commander card.
Yeah,
when it was EDH, right? Because that was one of the few ways to do what that card did. And in the years since, there's 10 different riffs on that. Yeah,
it was like this in doubling season. If you wanted to manipulate a planeswalker to do dumb things,
right. Yep, good pick. Good one. I'm gonna come in with a Cold Snap red common.
Is it Thermopod?
Thermopod.
I was hoping to trick you all and see if anyone would call Scred.
Or Rite of Flame. No. We're big brains.
Or Rite of Flame, or even Martyr of Ashes. It's a card that occasionally people talk about. It's not actually a pick at this moment. Don't worry. But it's an expensive foil. Martyr of Ashes.
You're an expensive foil.
There you go. Anyways, Thermopod is just a weird little snow slug. Just doing its
I love this card.
Thing.
I've always loved this card.
Yeah, it can gain haste for Snowman. It's a 4/3 for 5. The real thing that this card does is it's a sack outlet in red, and it's a creature that just sack a creature, add red to your mana pool, and you can do lots of things with that in Commander. So it's $1.
This card is definitely more. It's like Phyrexian Altar is $90. This card is better than 1/90th of a Phyrexian Altar for sure. Like. It's just very, very efficient for what it does. Like, you can run it alongside Phyrexian Altar if you need that much kind of sack outlets for your goblins or whatever. But
there's been no reprints of this card ever, and Cold Snap not exactly heavily printed, heavily opened set from back in the day. It was a weird summer set or whatever. They just kind of.
I'm surprised this is only $1.
Why is Phyrexian Altar $90?
Because Ultimate Masters was 4 years ago.
When you were still in your 30s, Jason.
I'm in my 30s.
Okay. Thermopod, anyways, $1. Jason, what's your breaking bulk this week?
I have a Mercadian Masks Blue Common.
Was Thwart common?
Thwart was uncommon.
Brainstorm.
You think I'm picking Brainstorm for breaking bulk? No. I wasn't gonna make you go through all the blue commons in the set and be like, it's Brainstorm, silly. This only has one printing, unlike Brainstorm.
It's got to be some weird thing that works with like a new comic Gala legend, right?
Hmm.
That's what all of Jason's picks are. I just don't know.
I don't know.
Mercadian Masks, Blue Common.
Think Lethal Weapon 2.
You think that's helpful to me?
Mel Gibson?
No, but I think the people at home who already know
Fair.
this
Okay, fair.
are laughing.
Fair.
Because that's a very good hint if you know Lethal Weapon 2.
What if we don't?
Then you're an idiot and you should watch Lethal Weapon 2. It's so funny.
Yeah,
He's got a point.
I'm in my 30s. Though.
He's out of line, but he's right. I give up. I concede. F6.
Diplomatic immunity.
I know that card. I have some of those cards. Damn.
I have a copy of this in my wallet as a good luck charm. I should have known this.
Nice.
You have a copy of it in your wallet. Why?
Because it's a good luck charm for when traveling internationally.
You realize you don't have actual diplomatic immunity.
Yes.
Also, that DJ is like the least for good luck kind of person I've ever met.
Yep. He went
That's
climbing
accurate.
and his wife said, break a leg.
So my funny little story behind that having that card in my wallet is at one of my first events I ever attended, one of the first Magic events I worked. I was still very young and just not as knowledgeable about the industry as I am today. And so my then supervisor boss just took me behind the booth and was like, okay, hey, I got a secret I want to share with you. And he pulls out a diplomatic immunity out of his wallet. And he's like, you should carry one of these around for good luck. It's like in the industry, we travel a lot. It's like a neat little good luck charm. Like you should just carry one of these around. And I was like, oh wow, this is like an industry. See, I'm like an in now. I'm part of the group. I was like, oh man, how many people do this? He's like, oh, just me.
But
now there are literally two of you.
And now so many people had to hear about it. That's all a thing that just happened.
Yep.
How lucky everyone is to have been a part of that on this podcast. All right. So every week I put in what some people might call a lot of effort into thinking about the perfect open for the podcast. And keep in mind, it's basically like a like a minefield, right? Because you got to navigate Jasoning. Right, that's just a thing. You know, you're going to have to go 2 or 3 starts. You're going to know sometimes it just doesn't work, and you've got to be flexible. And that is why now I'm going to read what I wanted to start the episode with, a very nice message that somebody sent to us.
I mean, you'd have to be like a minefielologist to navigate these kinds of expert intros without interruption.
Yeah, I spent years playing Minecraft, bro.
Did you?
Obviously.
Are you an 11-year-old boy? Like...
I've actually never played Minecraft, but that is besides the point. We got a message. Hey, guys, just jumped into my laptop to send this message. When you asked for an email saying that if you've listened for X amount of years, I just didn't have the time to send it. My first episode was right after you started sponsoring Kenji's stream, and I have not missed a week since. While I don't deal in finance, I've loved the cast and the discourse you've had over the years. I believe you should get more credit because you've outlasted so many other podcasts and content creators who have made Magic a better place to be. Thank you guys for everything. It's just a note we had from a listener that I don't think we'd ever read. And it was a nice thing that I wanted to share before we talk about when things go wrong. So one of our, we talked recently, we had a conversation come up in our Discord, which of course you can get access to by becoming a member of our Patreon at patreon.com/BSB. But the topic of, what do you do when a customer really just disagrees with you about the condition of a card? Or when you are on the other end of that and you're a customer and you disagree with a seller about the condition of a card, and the different ways that you can handle that interaction from both sides of it, right? Because if you're listening to this podcast, we assume you buy cards, but you may also sell them. So DJ, you have probably a lot of experience kind of on this aspect of it. What you want to go ahead and jump in with some of your thoughts?
Yeah, so I can speak to the TCGPlayer side of things. I mostly sell on Direct, which is a sort of fulfilled by Amazon-esque platform where I don't actually have to deal with the customer service issues. I just send a reimbursement invoice to TCGPlayer, and then they send out my cards for me, and then they deal with the customer service side of things, which is nice, but I do sell on non-Direct as well. There are some cards that can't go through Direct, some of the weird niche stuff, or just cards that Direct doesn't have in stock. Yeah, so every now and again I get a message about a condition complaint, or somebody just believes that I didn't include a specific version of a certain card. Like mystery boosters are super cool for that, by the way.
Wow,
very fun.
I bet.
Mm-hmm.
But as a seller on TCGPlayer's platform, you are obligated to handle things in a tact and positive way, I guess I'll say. I think the priority is to just put on your best customer service keyboard face and smile through it and offer to work a solution. You should primarily, the easiest way is generally just offering a partial refund, because that involves the least amount of work on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
But some customers will be averse to that and write you a 10th grade 500-word essay to explain why that is an insufficient
remedy.
Yeah, even though that's TCGPlayer's first suggested recourse. And so as the seller, regardless of the card's value, you are obligated, if they do want a full refund in return of the card, you are obligated to send them the packing materials to send the card back, which I don't think a lot of people understand. Generally, if the card is under a certain value threshold, I just fully refund them and let them keep the card, and then sometimes block them depending on how the discourse went.
Yep.
I do think that TCGPlayer allowing sellers to block buyers is a positive thing.
That's something a lot of the sellers talk about. This is sort of the mantra of many sellers when they receive a complaint from a customer: is refund and a block.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't even
Oh my
matter.
god, I blocked a guy for asking a question about a card's condition. I
Well,
was like,
it's
there's no way I'm getting this sent back to me.
It's even if they aren't being unreasonable, it's just like it just can add up, right? When people
And from
wanna
like a
go back and forth about stuff.
when you
You're trying to
when
run a
you break
volume
down the
game.
amount of minutes you spend on a
Yeah.
transaction and start valuing your time at a dollar amount, if you're treating this as a business, like if I spend an hour total
Dealing with
over
this
several
person.
days interacting with this person and going to check the mail and opening their package and packing a card back to reship them, if I spend an hour on that, if that card is like $4 or $5, I have lost efficiency of time. So I will just refund, block, keep the card, cordial copy paste message, and enjoy your free $4 card.
And this is the idea being that, well, if you go above and beyond in the customer service world, then the customer will reward you. But that's not, to an extent that is true, obviously, but it also is a world where TCGPlayer kind of steps in to fill that. So it doesn't necessarily benefit any individual seller. Like DJ said, to you can't spend your whole day tracking that down, right? That's
I mean, I had an experience on CardSphere. One of my first experiences on CardSphere was somebody's, and this is through no fault of the platform, they handled it very well. Somebody sent me just a bent, creased Liliana of the Veil. And I opened a complaint and sent them pictures, uploaded it to a Dropbox, and was like, hey, this is what I got in the mail. Just letting you know. And I received a tirade of scam accusations and personal attacks, and I don't even remember. This was 5 or 6 years ago.
Scam somebody over a Liliana, right?
But yeah, I politely explained my side of things and what happened and what potentially could have happened in shipping and all this other thing, and they were not having it. So the third party intervention had to occur.
Well,
but I mean, if you're a player looking for cards and you have a certain level of expectation of cards being gem mint, I do think that it is reasonable of the seller to ask you to be understanding of what the condition near mint means. It does allow for an imperfection or two, and you see this with Pokemon more than anything else. Pokemon is just full of people fishing for BGS 10s. It's awful. That is Pokemon is a very, very profitable market, but that is just one big sour spot. Is this sort of system obviously favors buyers much more than sellers. So the buyer can just effectively cast out 24 lines, spend maybe $500,000 buying near mint Charizards or whatever card they want to narrow down and send it in to get slabbed, and then just go through all of the package they received and be like, this one might be a 9.5. There's a tiny little thing, and then they have their copy paste message ready to send, complaining and fishing for a partial refund or some sort of very elegant way to profit off the seller, which thankfully is less common in Magic from my experience.
I'm not saying we're better people than Pokemon players, but
the real answer, in my opinion, is that people typically buy their Magic cards to play with. They're not buying their 9.5 base set Charizards to play F&M with.
I'd say so. Like high-end stuff does move on TCGPlayer, but it's generally listed with a photo. Yeah. Which helps clear up a lot of, like, you can just show, like, hey, this is the picture of the card you listed. It did not have a ding on it. It was not. There's no issue with it. And the fact that, like, with Magic, there's just a lot less of an expectation of grading. Like, Pokemon cards get graded so much more frequently than Magic.
Because they don't play them. That's my take on it anyway. I at least want to hope that that's true, right? The idea that the actual playability of Magic matters in this world of collecting, which is the argument for why you start talking about.
I think so.
And these insane prices, blasts, etc.
But I think, like, the general advice that we can just give is to, like, be customer servicey in your best possible way, polite to a fault, because you are trying to make money in this business and you are trying to turn a profit. I would not worry about, like, alienating your customers or, like, being worried about putting a bad review. TCGPlayer is very, very good at removing I guess scathing, like, negative reviews that obviously have no basis in reality, because TCGPlayer can look at the message history, and as long as you were cordial and polite and tried to rectify things, they will remove the negative feedback. They do go too far in this, so if you're a buyer and you've had a negative experience with a store multiple times and you've given them the benefit of the doubt, and you, like, okay, I bought, like, from you 4 times. One time there was a card missing, one time there was the wrong set, and one time there's the wrong condition, and they just try to keep offering you a partial refund, then that can get frustrating. And I do agree that TCGPlayer should take more direct action against sellers like that sully the platform and just sort of abuse the easy fact that they can get, like, it's very, very easy to get negative feedback removed. I've had negative feedback removed from my account before, and it is frighteningly easy at what TCGPlayer will consider and just instantly remove.
I thought you were going to say it's frightening how many times they've removed negative feedback from your account.
No, he was not going to say that, though.
Oh, I thought that's what you were going to say.
Not what he was going to say. Close, though. I mean, yeah, that's a tough dance for TCGPlayer to be into, obviously, right? Like, I do not envy their customer service representatives who have to try to mediate buyers and sellers and balance all of that stuff.
The TCGPlayer customer service representatives have to answer, like, judge questions and stuff too. I know a lot of those people personally. They get wild emails, man. It's a wild world out there.
I bet it is. All right, well, let's move on to, speaking of TCGPlayer, they have a bonus bucks promo coming up this week, and the promo is on Thursday. We're recording this on Valentine's Day, the 14th. The promo is on Thursday, the 17th. So if you are someone who went to patreon.com/BSB and is listening to this podcast early, hey, go check it out. If you're not, you're listening to this when it comes out on YouTube on Friday or in your favorite podcast app. That's all fine too, because we want to talk about the effects on the market or on individual sellers. If you are, someone who's getting into the platform or thinking about it, how these events, the bonus bucks and the sales and the promotions, what that looks like on the individual store end. So yeah, DJ, I mean, you've been through a lot of these over the years. I mean, when TCGPlayer does say, 8% kickback or bonus bucks or whatever they call it on a sale, do you see a huge change in your workload?
So TCG used to do these a lot more regularly. I want to say it was like 4-ish years ago, maybe, or something like that. They used to do sales. You could predict them to a degree where it's like, oh, it's Black Friday, that one's
Before
normal,
they had a complete
and then
monopoly.
Cyber Monday, and then Christmas Day, and then they do one on Valentine. They used to have one for like every holiday, and it was sometimes they would announce them on non-holidays 2 weeks in advance, and that seems like it would be great for incentivizing buyer behavior to purchase cards, but it also just disincentivizes buyer behavior to buy cards just spontaneously. So I think that the bonus bucks promotion that they offer when it is spontaneous and irregular is best. Assigning it to individual holidays on a consistent basis has been a net negative for me in terms of like, oh, it's the week before Black Friday. My sales will go down proportionally to the amount that they will increase on Black Friday. So it just sort of bottlenecks your workloads and like just creates inconsistencies in your systems and like processes.
Yeah. Well, I love that you bring that up in that way because that's like an interesting point there, right? Because it seems, oh, well, if sales are good, run more sales, but on the flip side, if there's always a sale, then why would you ever buy when there's not?
We don't want to get to the Coles. We don't want to use the Coles method.
Yes,
I do not want
TCGPlayer to retail. Yeah, to JCPenney's is what I was thinking of. But yeah, the idea of that everything's always on sale.
Oklahoma still has JCPenney's stores open. That's why he said that.
True. Man.
There's a thriving shopping mall that still has an Orange Julius and a Old Navy.
We have like one shopping mall left. It's actually very sad. I don't know if y'all have ever tried to go to a mall recently.
I mean, Destiny, like, I live next to the 5th or 6th biggest mall in the country, so...
I bet, like, super malls are doing fine.
Yeah, like, Destiny... I mean, it's eaten every other mall. It's eaten every other mall within a several-hour driving distance. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and anything that they didn't finish off, Amazon did, right? The malls here have either completely shut down or have become... You go into a mall these days, and it's like... It's not retail. It's like there's a mini golf place. There's an aquarium. There's an escape room. There's like a gym. There's a Dave and Buster's esque place.
Oh my god! You want to hear the wildest?
All there ever is.
I don't care if Jason says no to this question because obviously I'm going to tell the story anyway. But you want to hear the wildest store I saw in Destiny recently?
I do, DJ. I'd like to.
Awesome, Corbin. So
why do you like this? Why are both of you like this?
This is a store. And from what I could surmise, the function, a store obviously being in big ol' air quotes, the function of this place was like different photo backdrops for influencers to take like selfies and stuff at. Yeah. There was like there were like sectioned off booths, and it's like this is the beach booth, and like this is the 80s booth, and like this is the mini golf booth where it's not an actual mini golf course, but you can like make it look like you're playing mini golf. Yeah, it was like a sectioned off.
Oh wow! When your green screens at home just can't quite hack it.
Yeah,
like wow.
I wish they didn't do that.
Wow. Huh?
Why would you tell me that?
Huh.
Like I want to know the business model.
Entrepreneurs,
like, the
there.
Coked up, like, let's make this a thing. Oh, and like it has to work too, right? Because they're like, yeah, you're gonna pay us $40 to use this booth for 30 minutes because I know some like TikTok girl is gonna make like $800 off of using it. It's wild.
Good for them, I guess. I guess.
And the rent at Destiny's got to be like insane.
Yeah, it's got to be for sure. Like in an actual popular mall, I imagine it's pretty ridiculous. Well, that's interesting. The world is passing us by as we speak, but that's okay. That's okay because the one thing that will never pass us by are Magic card prices, and that is why it is time for pick of the week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
Brought to you, as always, by our friends over at MTG Stocks, who sponsor this podcast. Reminder to go check out MTG Stocks Premium, which comes with alerts. You can see more trends. You can follow inventory. You can follow whatever products you want. Sealed product as well. There's a new feature following penny stocks if you're interested in really tracking the up and coming stuff in a way that I assume most listeners of this podcast are. I know we.
And here's the thing: MTG Stocks will appreciate if you have any feedback, any features you'd like. Tell us. We'll tell them.
There you go.
Like it's a two-way street, right? Like our relationship with them. So if you have a great idea for a feature or something you'd like to see on the site, you don't have to just keep that idea inside. Tell your brand ambassador. That's us.
Tell your brand
We're
ambassador.
Brand ambassadors.
Brand ambassadors are who frequent that store you're
Selfie
talking about.
room,
yeah.
What was
Selfie
the name of
booth.
it? Did they have a good name?
I don't remember what the name of it was.
I hope
but
they
will,
had something good at least.
I will check
Was it
out.
John? Was it called John Wilkes Booths? Because you do a lot of headshots.
Unreal, dude.
That's not bad. Corbin, shut up. That was pretty good.
That was two jokes in one, and it wrote itself. So you can be mad that you'll never come up with a double layer pun like that, or you can just appreciate the fact that this podcast has made it 8 years because somebody entertaining is on it.
Corbin
You're
doesn't
right.
even have his whiteboard prepped and ready for this week. It's
Oh no, that's because DJ, I am an entertainer. Okay? Who the hell? Like, have you ever been to an NBA game? No, maybe you've been to a hockey game. You ever seen anyone come out at halftime and they're like, all right, everybody, at halftime, we have a painter, and you know what they're going to do in 5 minutes? Show you a painting they've already made. Get out of here. This is a live action.
wait. Are you getting up to
Are you Bob Rossing this?
what? Are you what?
Oh no, he's like Slob Ross. Was Slob Ross or Blob Ross funnier? It's hard to tell.
Blob.
So I think Slob Ross is funnier. He's really doing this.
He's. I was gonna say he's for our audio listeners.
Does
at
Corbin
home-
know that a lot of people don't watch this on YouTube?
Does he know that most people don't watch the what? He's also covering up what he's drawing while he's drawing it.
Look at that chair. That chair does not project, I make money on my specs. That chair says, the shed where I have my computer came fully furnished. Oh, man. This is like win, lose, or draw. And I choose lose.
Is that supposed to be me falling off a wall?
Is that...
Speed painting. Boom.
What happened? What are you depicting there? It's
All
too
right,
small
check it out.
to see.
Check it out. We got, that's a computer.
Okay.
And this is a person. You see that? It's a person, and that's them sitting at a chair.
Man,
But then
person,
that big-
woman, television, computer.
You see that big squiggly line? That's DJ's fucked up knee. And that's that word that says DJ is pointing at them. That tells you that that's DJ and his fucked up knee.
Uh-huh.
And that's a thought bubble of DJ being sad.
Why is my
So-
right knee longer than the rest of my body
Because
combined?
it's all fucked up, bro. They
Why
ripped
are
that shit
his
in around.
thoughts faces instead of words?
He's not one of those people who thinks like that. You know how like X% of the population.
People allege that they don't think words as thoughts, and they're lying, though.
Maybe.
They're just saying that for attention.
They're just saying that for
At least
like
that's
a four-letter.
the fully formed picture that came to me in my head.
They're saying that to add a four-letter acronym to their Twitter bio.
I'm an INTJ, so that's how we think.
I'll tell you what I think about my pick of the week. It's a rare from Kaldheim, and it's one of the most egregious examples of not making a card legendary when it should have been. The World
Is it
Tree.
Taminoa?
The World Tree.
The World Tree.
One of many worlds tree. We did it.
Yup.
Why isn't this card legendary?
Because then people might feel bad if they drew extras.
Oh, for in standard, where this is played a lot.
Mm-hmm. It was played a ton in historic. played alongside a little friend named Golos.
Is that still a thing you can do?
It
He
was.
said it was.
Yeah.
Did they ban Golos from Arena, or did they ban Historic from Arena?
It's a thing in Brawl.
Or
If you play
both.
that on Arena.
Here's a controversial thing. I wish Brawl had taken off in paper.
I don't.
I think we have recorded audio of you saying otherwise.
Yeah, I probably meant that at the time.
Just like you hated Commander.
Yeah. No, I made fun of people who played Commander.
That's true. Yeah. What?
But then I realized that I wanted to trade with those people and
Be those people.
And be those people. Yeah.
and
Then you
look at me.
realized-
I'm
And
a
then in the-
person who was
yeah.
told to their face they can't be on the CAG. Not everyone can say that.
In the final panel of that meme, DJ, he realizes he's always been that person.
No,
Anyways, the World
there's
Tree's
a non-zero
$4.
chance
You should
that
get 'em.
people would trade more if Brawl was a thing.
Wait, it's all Tatiova? Always has been.
Yes.
What? Tatiova is not legal in Brawl. What are you
Ever-
talking
Out of
I'm
about?
here,
saying-
man. Whatever.
Every
You
Civic
don't even-
Commander is Tatiova with extra steps.
I mean, no, not Slowgurk.
Not Uro. It's fewer
Yeah.
steps.
Cowards.
Anyways, I think the World Tree has risen from $3 to $4 and is unlikely to go down because until it gets reprinted or whatever, it's pretty good. It's pretty good at what it does, which is making all 5 colors in a non-legendary way.
I am basing my pick on the fact that so this could be like its own informational segment, I guess. My pick of the week is Skithrix the Blight Dragon. And that is a mythic legendary infect creature from Scars and Mirrodin and or Double
Yeah.
Masters. It used to be a lot more expensive than it is now after the Double Masters reprint, but the main reason I'm picking this is that Wizards likes to f around and find out. And I'm mainly referring to like Delve in this situation, and that they really like to try to fix mechanics
infect.
like Broken Men, and that like they printed Tombstalker, and then that card was like, whew, that card's pretty good in Legacy. Maybe Delve is, oh god, we made Treasure Cruise. Oh no, Dig Through Time and Gurmag Angler.
Yeah.
But wait, what if we made Hoga? Oh no, wait, oopsie, and Murktide Regent less than 2 years later. So like, somebody at Wizards has an ongoing bet. I'm like, listen, I can make a fair Delve card. I can do it. It's in me. I just got to fix him. You know, I just got to.
It's a new person every couple years. That's the problem.
And so I think that it's a possibility that the same is true with the infect mechanic, and that
Maybe.
they look back on it and it's like, wow, that was pretty crazy. We almost screwed a whole lot of things up there, but what if we can do it better this time? And so with obviously Jin-Gitaxias is on Kamigawa, Vorinclex on Call Time. There's a whole, I talked last week about how there's a whole like Phyrexia mega lore storyline building up kind of thing.
Yeah.
I do think that there is a realistic expectation that we will see infect and or poison counters in the next, I mean, this is a very long-term project.
Next year,
Like, I don't
next year,
expect,
whatever.
yeah, I don't
years.
expect Skithrix to get a reprint in the next year or two. Infect is clearly a difficult mechanic to put into, number one, a regular set, and number two, impossible to put into a precon based on the way they design those products. And so I think it is a realistic expectation that we see infect and or poison counters based on the storyline Magic is going. And when we see poison counters, we will see Skithrix do the same thing that like Sakashima's student did. That what's his name? The previous legendary ninja. Higure the Steel Wind, like all those ninja specs that I talked about buying two or 3 months ago. I think the time is, I mean, you don't even need to buy like right now. I think you have several months to do this and just sort
Well,
of
you
like,
got New Capena, right? So you could
It's
just
a time-
buy anything
time
that
for
says
sure.
Duretti on it. Right?
maybe. I mean, is Duretti in that? Is there like any sort of suggestion that Duretti's in that block or?
I'm
Plain?
getting real Italian vibes from Duretti and from New
Okay.
Capena, so
Okay.
it's possible I'm
Very
just
helpful,
conflating
yeah.
things.
I'm with
There's
you,
some
DJ,
internal
on this,
lore
infect
going on,
thing,
I
though.
think, right?
They, in fact, it's hard to see how they could return to infect and innovate on it in any way. It's hard to see. I guess it's also hard to see how the power creep of 2022 wouldn't just produce some absurd infect cards.
I mean, maybe, but
hey, look, they brought back Phyrexian mana.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You know, like, who knows?
And also the plan B is like legendary mythic poison dragon skeleton go up. So like,
yes, yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
like
double
it's $13,
Masters
$14.
Bottomed out.
It's a legendary mythic poison dragon skeleton. Like, what do you want from me?
I'm with you. All right, Jason, what do you have this week?
Oh, I don't have one.
Okay, see you all next week.
But in my second post pick of the week phase, I will pick Sphinx of the Second Sun, which gave me another opportunity to do pick of the week this week. Sphinx of the Second Sun gives you another beginning phase. You get an untap, upkeep, draw. That's pretty cool. Nobody knows how this card works, but if they did, they would know it's pretty nuts.
A cool card. What was that from? Commander Legends?
I think so.
Yeah. And it's $5 for a mythic in Commander Legends, which is not correct. And when this is $30 in 2 years, everybody was like, "What did that happen?"
I picked a mythic from Commander Legends last week as well. I'm with you on this train.
You're just gonna be like, "Oh, it was so obvious. We had a chance to buy these at $5." There's so many times I look at a graph, I'm like, "Why don't I buy these at $2?" Well, this is $5. Are you going to ever pay less for this? Is this reprintable? I don't think it's that reprintable.
I mean, it like probably is, but I also don't. I don't know that they would. I don't know.
Right? Yeah, it's like
just a card.
Yes, they could, but there's a big laundry list of reprints they
it's
should
just
be
a
hitting.
card. Yeah, it is. It is a powerful Sphinx though, and it is a cool effect. 6/6, 8 mana, lots of ways to get it into play.
Did you guys see that one thread from Adam Staborski, an argument for removing the upkeep step in Magic the Gathering? I thought it was interesting.
That's amazing.
No, but I'm curious.
I would love to see something chaotic like that.
Oh, I can't. I'm going to go read it after we get done podcasting.
Yeah, like there's an argument that like everything you do during the upkeep could be like categorized and set on the stack in the same way that like at the beginning of your end step triggers, you just do it at your beginning step. Obviously, this like rules wise, it like screw like what does Paradox Haze do now? I don't know, but like
Sagas work that way, right? You could line up all the other stuff with Saga timings.
Yeah.
Move your draw step to the first thing that like the draw being the first untap draw phase. Right? Like if it said untap, upkeep, draw, it's just untap, draw, like main, like fade, like whatever, all your sagas and all your previous upkeep things at the same time, etc.
Yeah.
That's an interesting idea. I never thought about that. Cool. All right. Well, Sphinx of the Second Sun, $4 to $5. Commander Legends Mythics. I think we are in agreement that some of them at least may be underpriced.
How is Hellkite Courser like no number of dollars? That card is insane.
Yeah, Hellkite Courser is it's a 6 mana Commander Legends Mythic.
That's not even my pick of the week. I just see that like every time I put that card in my like
flyer.
$2 buy pile at a show. I'm like, really?
Yeah. So it's a 6/5.
Nobody wants to dash their commander.
When it enters the battlefield, you may put a commander you own from the command zone on the battlefield. It gains haste. Return it to the command zone. Being next instep 6/5. I mean, it is kind of I don't know. It's another weird card, right? Another Commander Legends-y type card. And I think it's going to take some time, and we're seeing it happen now, right? To see which Commander Legends cards actually sort of have an extended life.
I never want to do this, but Hellkite Courser is played in nearly as many decks as Sphinx, and it costs half as much. So that's weird too, right?
Also, Dragon, more popular.
I've just seen Dragon players play this card and then win more than 0 number of times. Or it's like you just play this in your Dragon deck and then you just end, the game just ends, right?
It does seem quite good. I'll give you that for sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, a little bonus pick there if you're into looking at Hellkite Courser or anything else from Commander Legends. Well, we want to thank you, everybody, for listening to the podcast this week. We want to thank DJ for suffering through the pain. We hope he is able to get on the mend. So make sure you give him some shout out in the comments down in the YouTube video if you're here. Shout out to MTG Stocks, our sponsor, as always. And thank you to you for listening. This is Brainstorm Brewery. We'll see you next week. Boom, it's a podcast.